The glow of the laptop screen illuminated Sarah's face, a vibrant tapestry of pixels reflecting her quest for entertainment. She was on the hunt for a specific movie, a cinematic escape from a mundane Tuesday evening. Her fingers danced across the keyboard, navigating through search results, each link a potential portal to her desired destination. One link, promising a high-quality stream of the very film she sought, seemed too good to pass up. It bore an uncanny resemblance to a legitimate streaming service, a subtle mimicry that wouldn't raise an immediate alarm for most. With a hopeful click, she initiated the download, eager to immerse herself in the story unfolding on screen. Little did she know, that single click was not a gateway to entertainment, but a carefully crafted trap, a digital snare sprung by unseen hands. As the movie began to play, or rather, as a deceptive placeholder began to load, an invisible process was already underway. A silent, insidious transfer of data was occurring, far beyond the scope of her intended download. Her personal device, once a trusted tool for leisure and connection, was now being subtly compromised. The hacker, a shadow lurking in the vast network, had just gained an unauthorized glimpse, a silent entry point into her digital life, all initiated by a seemingly innocuous desire for a movie. This was the beginning of an unwelcome intrusion, a violation facilitated by the very convenience she sought. In today's hyper-connected world, digital security is no longer a luxury, but a fundamental necessity. Whether safeguarding your finances, your privacy, or even your identity, understanding online threats is paramount. This practical and accessible guide demystifies the primary types of digital attacks, revealing how they operate and, crucially, how you can defend yourself. From phishing scams to denial-of-service assaults, prepare for an eye-opening journey into the digital underbelly, where information is your most potent weapon. Don't be an easy target. Learn to protect yourself and your data. The initial breach had been alarmingly simple, a testament to how easily the digital veil could be pierced. Her device, once a trusted companion for entertainment and staying connected with loved ones, had become a gateway. A desire for a particular film, a momentary lapse in vigilance, had been all it took for the unseen intruder to exploit a vulnerability. This was not a brute force attack, no dramatic explosion of code, but a quiet, almost stealthy incursion. The hacker, a phantom in the expansive digital landscape, had merely found an unlocked door, a subtle entry point into the carefully curated world she managed through her personal tools. It was the beginning of an unwelcome intrusion, a violation facilitated by the very convenience she had sought, transforming a tool of empowerment into a potential point of exploitation. The ease with which this initial access was gained was a stark reminder of the invisible currents that flowed beneath the surface of her everyday online interactions, currents that could carry significant risk. The immediate aftermath of this subtle compromise wasn't marked by obvious malfunctions or alarming alerts. Instead, it was a creeping unease, a sense of something being off. Files that had previously been easily accessible now seemed to require an extra step, a subtle hesitation before opening. Applications, once responsive, occasionally lagged, displaying peculiar, fleeting error messages that vanished as quickly as they appeared. These were not overt signs of a major disruption, but rather the digital equivalent of a creaking floorboard in an empty house, hinting at an unseen presence. It was as if the very fabric of her digital environment had been subtly altered, its normal patterns disrupted by an invisible hand. The initial vulnerability had been exploited not for immediate gain, but to establish a foothold, a quiet observation post from which to gauge the landscape of her digital life and identify further opportunities for access or manipulation. This slow-burn approach, devoid of immediate dramatic indicators, made the threat all the more insidious, fostering a sense of uncertainty rather than outright panic. The digital landscape is a complex ecosystem, and understanding its threats begins with recognizing the most prevalent forms of malicious activity. These aren't random acts. They are carefully orchestrated operations, each with its own playbook. Identifying the actors behind these events, their underlying drives, and the reasons for their success is paramount. This knowledge empowers individuals and organizations, transforming them from potential targets into proactive defenders. At the forefront of this threat spectrum are phishing attacks. Perpetrators, often operating in organized crime syndicates or as lone actors motivated by financial gain, impersonate trusted entities like banks, social media platforms, or government agencies. Their aim is to trick unsuspecting individuals into divulging sensitive information, such as login credentials, credit card details, or personal identification numbers. These attacks are alarmingly effective due to their reliance on psychological manipulation, exploiting human trust, urgency, and fear. Emails, text messages, and even phone calls can be crafted to appear legitimate, laced with convincing language and branding, making it difficult to distinguish real from fake. Malware, another pervasive threat, encompasses a broad category of malicious software designed to infiltrate and disrupt systems. This includes viruses, worms, trojans, and ransomware, each with a unique method of propagation and impact. Perpetrators range from financially motivated cybercriminals seeking to extort money through ransomware to state-sponsored groups aiming for espionage or sabotage. The effectiveness of malware stems from its ability to exploit software vulnerabilities, trick users into executing malicious code, or leverage social engineering tactics. Once embedded, malware can steal data, render systems inoperable, or provide remote access for further exploitation, creating a persistent and damaging presence. Denial of service, DOS, and distributed denial of service, DDoS, attacks represent a different, yet equally disruptive, class of threat. These attacks focus on overwhelming a target system or network with a flood of illegitimate traffic, rendering it inaccessible to legitimate users. The motivations can vary, from hacktivism aimed at making a political statement, to extortion, or simply causing disruption for its own sake. The sheer volume of traffic generated, often from a network of compromised devices known as a botnet, makes these attacks incredibly difficult to defend against, effectively shutting down online services and causing significant financial and reputational damage. The persistence and adaptability of these threats are what make them so enduring. Cybercriminals are constantly refining their techniques, learning from past attempts, and developing new ways to bypass existing defenses. This ongoing evolution necessitates a continuous commitment to learning and updating security measures, treating cybersecurity not as a static solution, but as an ongoing process of vigilance and adaptation. Let's break down how some common digital trickery works in plain language. Imagine phishing as a digital con artist, sending you a convincing-looking letter that appears to be from your bank or a popular online service. This letter might arrive as an email or a text message. It will often have an urgent tone, urging you to click on a link or provide personal information to avoid some dire consequence, like your account being closed or a problem with a recent order. The link, however, doesn't lead to the legitimate website. Instead, it directs you to a fake page designed to look identical, where any details you enter, like your username, password, or credit card number, are secretly sent to the attacker. Now, consider how someone might sneak into a system using what's called SQL injection. Think of a website as a library with a very organized catalog. When you search for a book, you type in keywords, and the catalog system, the database, finds the relevant titles. And SQL injection is like tricking the librarian into looking for something other than what you asked for by subtly altering your search request. Instead of just typing a book title, the attacker inserts special commands into the search field. If the website's catalog system isn't built very carefully, it might mistakenly execute these commands, allowing the attacker to see information they shouldn't, or even change or delete data. It's a way of exploiting a flaw in how the website asks for and receives information. Finally, let's look at a brute force attack. This is the digital equivalent of trying every single key on a massive keyring to open a lock. If an attacker wants to guess a password for an account, they can use automated tools to systematically try every possible combination of letters, numbers, and symbols. They start with simple guesses like 123456 or password, and then move on to more complex variations. It's a time-consuming process, but if the password is weak and there are no measures in place to slow down these attempts, like locking an account after too many wrong guesses, eventually the attacker might stumble upon the correct password and gain access. The theoretical understanding of how attackers attempt to breach digital defenses is one thing, but witnessing the real-world consequences truly drives home the gravity of these threats. Consider the case of a large retail corporation that, due to a series of easily guessable default credentials on an administrative portal, found itself susceptible to a ransomware attack. For days, their entire inventory management system was paralyzed, leading to significant financial losses from halted sales and the exorbitant cost of data recovery. Customers experienced delays in shipments and an inability to track their orders, eroding trust and brand reputation. Another stark example involves individuals. A common scenario is the phishing scam, where deceptive emails or messages trick people into revealing personal information. One unfortunate individual, enticed by a fake lottery win notification, provided their bank account details. Within hours, their savings were drained, leaving them with immense personal distress and financial hardship. The psychological impact of such a violation, losing hard-earned money to a deceptive scheme, can be profound and long-lasting, demonstrating how even seemingly small breaches can have devastating personal consequences. Beyond financial ruin, there's the threat of identity theft. Imagine an attacker gaining access to a compromised online account and systematically gathering personal identifiers like dates of birth, social security numbers, and addresses. This information can then be used to open fraudulent credit lines, file fake tax returns, or even commit crimes in the victim's name, leading to a labyrinth of legal and financial complications that can take years to untangle. The unfortunate reality is that these malicious actors are constantly evolving their methods, leveraging every available avenue to achieve their objectives. However, the same ingenuity that fuels these attacks can also be harnessed for defense. Sophisticated algorithms are now employed to detect anomalous login patterns, flagging suspicious activity before it can cause significant damage. Multi-factor authentication systems, which require more than just a password to verify a user's identity, act as a crucial barrier against unauthorized access, making brute force attacks significantly less effective. Furthermore, ongoing security awareness training for both employees and the general public plays a vital role. Educating individuals on how to identify phishing attempts, create strong, unique passwords, and understand the importance of software updates empowers them to become the first line of defense. It's a continuous arms race, where advancements in protective measures are met with increasingly sophisticated evasion techniques. This dynamic necessitates a proactive and vigilant approach, recognizing that digital safety is not a one-time fix, but an ongoing commitment. The pervasive nature of digital threats extends far beyond individual inconvenience, profoundly impacting society, economies, and ethical frameworks. When institutions, whether governmental, financial, or social, suffer breaches, public trust erodes significantly. Citizens begin to question the very systems designed to safeguard their information and ensure stability, leading to a ripple effect of uncertainty and skepticism. This erosion of confidence can destabilize markets and hinder innovation, as the perceived risk of engaging with digital platforms increases. Economically, the consequences are equally severe. The cost of recovering from a significant cyber attack can be astronomical, encompassing not only direct financial losses, but also reputational damage, lost business opportunities, and the expense of implementing enhanced protective measures. For smaller businesses, a single sophisticated assault can be an existential threat, forcing closures and job losses. On a global scale, these disruptions can disrupt supply chains, manipulate financial markets, and even compromise critical national infrastructure, demonstrating how interconnected and vulnerable our modern economic systems have become. Furthermore, the constant threat to personal privacy raises complex ethical questions. The collection and storage of vast amounts of personal data, while often for legitimate purposes like service improvement, create attractive targets for malicious actors. When this data is compromised, individuals can face identity theft, financial fraud, and even personal harassment. The balancing act between the benefits of data utilization and the imperative to protect individual privacy is a delicate one, constantly being redefined by evolving capabilities and societal expectations. The ongoing battle against digital malfeasance presents numerous ethical dilemmas. For instance, the development and deployment of advanced defensive systems often involve monitoring user activity. While intended to detect and prevent threats, such monitoring can easily stray into surveillance, raising concerns about individual liberties and the potential for misuse of such powers. The question of attribution for attacks is also problematic. Determining responsibility when attacks originate from anonymous sources or involve multiple actors across different jurisdictions is a significant challenge. In this landscape, the adoption of new safeguarding technologies, while offering immense potential for protection, also brings its own set of anxieties. These advancements can create a false sense of security, leading individuals and organizations to relax their vigilance. Moreover, the complexity of these new solutions can sometimes create new vulnerabilities or require specialized knowledge that not everyone possesses, inadvertently widening the digital divide. The pursuit of robust digital safety must therefore be a collective endeavor, prioritizing transparency, accountability, and the continuous education of all users, ensuring that progress serves the greater good without compromising fundamental rights. Looking ahead, the landscape of cyber threats is undergoing a profound transformation, driven by the relentless march of innovation. We can anticipate the emergence of novel attack vectors that leverage increasingly sophisticated capabilities. The integration of artificial intelligence, for instance, is poised to empower adversaries with the ability to craft hyper-personalized phishing campaigns that are virtually indistinguishable from legitimate communications, making human oversight a less reliable defense. Moreover, AI could be employed to automate the discovery and exploitation of zero-day vulnerabilities at an unprecedented scale, overwhelming traditional detection methods. The advent of quantum computing, while offering immense potential for scientific advancement, also presents a significant future challenge. Its computational power could render many of the cryptographic algorithms currently safeguarding sensitive data obsolete, opening the door to decryption of historical communications and the compromise of future secure transactions. This necessitates a proactive shift towards quantum-resistant encryption, a transition that requires substantial research and development effort. Furthermore, the burgeoning Internet of Things (IoT) ecosystem, with its vast network of interconnected devices, presents an expanded attack surface. The sheer volume and often less robust security of these devices make them prime targets for botnets and distributed denial of service (DDoS) attacks, potentially impacting critical infrastructure and everyday conveniences. We should also prepare for more insidious forms of cybercrime. Advanced persistent threats (APTs) will likely become even more sophisticated, employing multi-stage attacks that combine elements of social engineering, malware, and supply chain compromises to achieve deep and long-lasting intrusions. The blurring lines between the physical and digital worlds, exacerbated by the proliferation of smart environments and augmented reality, could lead to attacks that have tangible real-world consequences, from manipulating autonomous systems to orchestrating physical disruptions. The motivation behind these attacks may also diversify, extending beyond financial gain to include state-sponsored espionage, sabotage, and the destabilization of societal functions. The continuous evolution of attack methodologies demands a parallel evolution in our defensive strategies. The future of cybersecurity will increasingly rely on proactive threat hunting, predictive analytics, and the implementation of adaptive security architectures that can dynamically respond to emerging threats. Education and awareness remain paramount, but the focus will need to shift towards cultivating a culture of cyber resilience across all levels of society, empowering individuals and organizations with the knowledge and tools to navigate an increasingly complex digital terrain. The race between innovation and exploitation is accelerating, and staying ahead requires constant vigilance and a commitment to fostering a secure and trustworthy digital future for everyone. The ever-evolving landscape of digital threats necessitates a proactive approach, and artificial intelligence, AI, is emerging as a transformative force in this ongoing battle. By analyzing vast datasets in real time, AI algorithms can identify subtle anomalies and deviations from normal operational patterns that might otherwise go unnoticed. This capability allows for the early detection of suspicious activities, such as unusual login attempts, unexpected data exfiltration, or novel malware signatures, providing a crucial head start in mitigating potential breaches. Furthermore, AI is revolutionizing incident response. Instead of relying solely on human analysts, AI-powered systems can automate many of the initial steps in responding to an alert. This includes isolating compromised systems, blocking malicious IP addresses, and even deploying predefined security patches, significantly reducing the time it takes to contain an attack and minimize its impact. This automation frees up human experts to focus on more complex investigative tasks and strategic decision-making. The application of AI extends to proactively strengthening system defenses. Machine learning models can be trained to predict potential vulnerabilities based on historical attack data and system configurations, allowing organizations to patch weaknesses before they are exploited. AI can also enhance the effectiveness of existing security measures, such as intrusion detection systems and firewalls, by providing more intelligent and adaptive threat analysis. However, the same advancements that empower defenders also present new challenges. Malicious actors are increasingly leveraging AI to create more sophisticated and personalized attacks. The development of highly convincing deepfakes, for instance, can be used to spread misinformation or impersonate individuals, undermining trust and facilitating social engineering scams. Similarly, AI can be employed to automate and scale phishing campaigns, making them harder to distinguish from legitimate communications. This duality underscores the critical importance of responsible AI development and deployment. While AI offers unprecedented capabilities for bolstering digital security, its misuse poses significant risks. Ensuring that AI technologies are developed and utilized ethically, with robust safeguards against malicious applications, is paramount. The ongoing race to enhance digital safety hinges on our ability to harness the power of AI for defense, while simultaneously developing strategies to counter its weaponization. This commitment to ethical innovation is fundamental to fostering a secure and dependable digital future for all users. The advent of quantum computing presents a profound paradigm shift, particularly concerning the security of our digital information. Current cryptographic algorithms, the bedrock of online security, rely on mathematical problems that are incredibly difficult for classical computers to solve. However, quantum computers, with their fundamentally different computational approach, can tackle these problems with astonishing speed. Shor's algorithm, for instance, demonstrates the potential for quantum machines to efficiently factor large numbers, a task that underpins the security of widely used public key cryptosystems like RSA. Similarly, Grover's algorithm can significantly speed up the search for solutions in certain mathematical problems, potentially weakening symmetric encryption methods. This poses a serious threat, as data secured today could be vulnerable to decryption by future quantum adversaries. In response to this looming challenge, researchers are actively developing new cryptographic methods designed to withstand attacks from quantum computers. This field, often referred to as post-quantum cryptography, focuses on creating algorithms based on mathematical problems believed to be hard even for quantum machines. These include lattice-based cryptography, code-based cryptography, multivariate polynomial cryptography, and hash-based cryptography. Each approach leverages different underlying mathematical principles, offering diverse avenues for achieving quantum-resistant security. The goal is to transition our digital infrastructure to these new standards before quantum computers become powerful enough to break current encryption. The migration to quantum-safe encryption is a complex undertaking, requiring not only the development of new algorithms, but also their widespread implementation and integration into existing systems. This transition involves updating software, hardware, and protocols across the globe. It's a race against time, as the security of sensitive data, from personal financial information to classified government communications, depends on our ability to stay ahead of potential threats. The development and adoption of these next-generation cryptographic solutions are crucial for building a truly secure and resilient digital future. This proactive approach ensures that the progress made in safeguarding information continues even as computational power evolves dramatically. The ever-expanding landscape of interconnected devices, commonly referred to as the Internet of Things, IoT, presents a complex and evolving frontier in the realm of digital protection. Each new smart appliance, wearable gadget, or industrial sensor added to this network represents a potential entry point, an avenue that can be exploited by malicious actors if not adequately secured. The sheer volume and diversity of these connected items create a significantly larger attack surface than ever before, often containing less robust security measures compared to traditional computing systems. This proliferation inherently introduces new vulnerabilities and daunting challenges for maintaining the integrity and confidentiality of digital information. Protecting these diverse connected instruments from the growing sophistication of cyber threats requires a multifaceted approach. Fundamental to this defense is the implementation of strong, unique passwords and regular firmware updates, ensuring that known security flaws are patched promptly. Furthermore, segmenting networks can isolate these devices, limiting the potential damage if one particular item is compromised. Encryption plays a vital role in safeguarding the sensitive data that these devices invariably collect, from personal habits to critical operational metrics. By employing robust encryption protocols, even if unauthorized access occurs, the intercepted information remains unreadable and useless to the attacker. Ultimately, the robust security of this interconnected ecosystem is not solely the responsibility of those who create the devices or the software that runs them. It is a shared imperative that demands active participation and collaboration from manufacturers, developers, and indeed, every individual user. Fostering widespread awareness regarding the inherent risks associated with these connected technologies is paramount. This includes understanding the types of data being collected and the potential implications of a security breach. Simultaneously, the consistent adoption of sound security practices by users forms the bedrock of a resilient defense. This collective effort, built on vigilance and proactive measures, is essential for navigating the complexities of this connected future and ensuring the safety and privacy of our digital lives. The digital landscape, a realm of boundless information and constant connection, presents a multifaceted challenge. Navigating this intricate environment requires a deep understanding of the diverse threats that lurk and an unwavering commitment to staying ahead of their evolving nature. Fortunately, knowledge serves as our primary shield, empowering us to discern potential dangers and implement effective countermeasures. Coupled with a vigilant mindset, this informed approach, bolstered by the deployment of appropriate protective measures, allows for a secure and confident experience within our interconnected world. Embracing digital safety is not a singular achievement, but rather an ongoing expedition. The commitment to continuous learning is paramount, necessitating a proactive stance in understanding the latest emerging threats. By staying informed about the newest attack vectors and vulnerabilities, individuals can adapt their defenses accordingly. This continuous education fuels the adoption of robust security practices, transforming them from mere recommendations into ingrained habits. Such consistent application forms the foundation of a resilient digital posture, capable of withstanding the pressures of an ever-changing threat landscape. Furthermore, the influence of personal example cannot be overstated. Inspiring those around us to prioritize their digital well-being amplifies our collective security. When individuals share their knowledge and encourage best practices, they contribute to a broader culture of awareness and responsibility. This ripple effect is crucial in fostering a community that is not only protected individually, but also collectively resilient against the pervasive risks of the digital age. The shared journey towards a more secure online existence is a collaborative endeavor, where each participant plays a vital role. Ultimately, the integrity and trustworthiness of our digital future rest upon the shoulders of every individual. By actively engaging in learning, consistently applying security principles, and motivating others to do the same, we collectively forge a stronger defense. This guide has aimed to provide a foundational understanding, a starting point for this essential journey. May it empower you to navigate the complexities of the digital realm with confidence, contributing to a safer and more protected online environment for all. The path forward is one of perpetual adaptation and shared commitment, ensuring that our digital lives remain both vibrant and secure.